Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over general car safety. We're going to be checking some things that should be working before you start, such as your lights, your brakes, your brights, your fog lights, hazards, how to check your tire pressure. We'll also be making sure to check your lights and making sure you check the area around your car and the general condition of your car. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first section of checking around your car. So, now that we've done a general run through and have checked the general condition of the car as well as the area around it, we can now turn the car on. So, you can do this by either pressing a button or putting in a key and turning your key, depending on the car you have. So, now that the car is turned on, we can now check lights. So we're going to start with our left blinkers.
Looks good.
Looks good. Looks good. So to get rid of your blinker, you push up or down depending on which blinker you use. So for blinkers, you will use those to indicate where you decide to turn. So for your left blinker, you will pull down. This indicates you're turning left. If you want to use your right blinker, you push up. That indicates you're turning right. So to check a right blinker, push up.
Looks good.
That's looking extremely good.
Looks good. So now for hazards, the location of this button will vary depending on what kind of car you have. But for this one, it's indicated by a red triangle and right here in the middle of the dash. So use these if you're doing emergency stops. So say if you needed to pull over on the side of a highway, you would put these on to indicate that you're making an emergency stop. So press these.
Looks good.
I'd say that looks pretty good.
Looks good. Now, you want to turn it off, you'll just press it again. So now, for brights, if you want to put on brights, you'll use those at nighttime and when you're not driving, when you don't have an approaching car nearby or if there's a car in front of you. You don't use those. You use those basically if you're the only car on the road and nobody's approaching you and nobody's in front of you. So in order to do that, make sure your lights are set to, sometimes it's auto, so if it's on auto they won't turn on during the day, but if you want to flash them, you will pull back and you can flash your brights. And if you want to have them permanently on for now, you'll push forward and then your brights will be on.
Looks good.
And in order to turn them off, you'll pull back. So now we'll be checking our brake lights. Brake lights are obviously used to indicate if you're braking, you'll be slowing down, you're coming to a stop, and those should turn on. If they don't, your car would not pass an inspection. So you need your brake lights to be on. So in order to have your brake lights to test them, just simply press down on the brakes. And they're good. And one thing you can do that some cars have are brake holds or automatic braking. You press this button and then when you come to a complete stop, your car will automatically brake and you can take your foot off the brake. But make sure that that button is engaged before you take your foot off the brake. So now we're going to check mirrors. So mirrors you're going to use in order to see behind you, possibly see kind of beside you, and you can also eliminate any blind spots as well if you adjust your mirrors correctly. So for your main mirror, you're going to want to adjust it so that your rear window is fully in view. Make sure it's not, off to the side, up too high or up too low. Just make sure you adjust it correctly. It's pretty easy to adjust. You just move it back and forth, up and down, and that's about it. So for your side view mirrors, you'll want to make sure that you kind of don't have an overlap, or at least a slight overlap between your side view mirrors and your rear view mirrors. So in order to do this, there could be a switch on the side of your door. So you put left or right, so we have it on left, and then you have a little knob that moves it back and forth, up or down. And then you also do that for your right mirror as well. You move that up or down, left or right, and make sure you have at least a slight overlap between your rear view mirror and your side view mirrors, and those are mirrors. Alright, so now we're going to check our tire pressure. So in order to find out what kind of pressure you need, or what your pressure is, you're going to want to check on your door. It may be different for different cars, but this car, it's on your door, and it'll tell you the front and rear tire pressures. So, in order to check your tire pressure, you're going to want one of these. You can find these at any gas station, Walmart, anywhere. It just checks your pressure. So, to do that, you're going to want to unscrew the cap on your tire. The cap is off, and now you're going to take the top end and then just insert it onto the little valve. See? And this little readout will pop out, and it'll show you what your pressure is. And that's how you check tire pressure. Alright, so today we pre-flight checked our car. We looked for our lights, we know what to check for that. We checked our tire pressure, and we figured out how to check the general area around your car and the general condition of your car. So with that, you should be well on your way to driving safely. I hope this video helped, and drive safe.